Okay, so good morning. My name is Margot Aston, and I have created a spelling word game in using HTML and JavaScript and CSS. So let me show you what I've been working on. I'll share my screen. And then here's the spelling game. So here's the spelling game. It's designed for first graders. We have some instructions and some labeling here in the hero box. And then down here in the main section, we have the actual meat of the program where all the interaction is going on. So first, there's a list of spelling patterns here that the student or user can choose from. And we're going to start with, okay. So we start the game and a picture clue comes up. So the student is able to type in what they think this is. Is it a bug? Oh, no, it's an ant. Okay, so let's go back and change that. Call it an ant. Great job. Okay, next word. And then, ooh, flag. Absolutely, we can do flag. Check it. Yep, that's flag. And it continues on like that. The student can also go up and change the spelling pattern. Let's do So start the game and box. Sure enough, box. Check it. Yep, we got it. And then dog and then frog and so on and so on. So and the student is able to continually change between spelling patterns. So that is pretty much the program. It's very simple, but it does have lots of possibilities to make some add-ons and adjustments to it. So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to adding that later. But let's look at the code behind it. And so I'm going to start with the HTML code just to explain the elements that are used in this screen. So of course we start with our headings in our hero box. And so we start with the title, and then we have some instructions here that we can put into it. We have the main section. That's where this white section over here, where all the meat of the program is being done and all the interaction. We have choices for input. So we have input boxes. We also have buttons that will initiate some events or some actions. And then we have the some elements, some boxes to display the picture clue, a box for the student to input the word, and then of course that flip box, which is right here, that allows this child to check to see if they are correct. And then of course we have the button at the bottom that calls for the next word. So that's the HTML. And then let's look at the JavaScript files. We have an object. I'm using an object for our list. It's actually an array of arrays of arrays. So the original array, has a key of first grade, because of course we're focusing on first grade right now. And then it has array of arrays, and each list has a different spelling pattern. So the spelling pattern or the key to the inner arrays are the spelling pattern. And so the key to the first array is A, and the key to the second is spelling pattern I, and the key to the third is spelling pattern E, and so forth and so forth. So once you're in that inner array, there's a second depth to that array, and each word is also an array. And that is done because we need the word and we need the image for that word, for that picture clue. And then these other pieces in here are the beginning of the word, as for flag, FL, and then the end of the word G, which I've put in there for some future designs that I'm going to use and add to this program. This object also has some functions. Of course, it has an init function that calls the set list information, and then a render list function that it calls to initiate itself. And then it also has a function called set list function. So I'll explain that in a minute, but let's go down to the set list function that is down here. So this set list function takes information and puts it into the HTML file. So it queries the HTML file and sets it up here in the hero box. And then the render list goes into our arrays and pulls the key for each inner array and prints it onto the screen down here so the student knows which choices they have to practice. And so this can be extended or deleted to whatever extent that you want to add different spelling lists and different spelling patterns to the game. Okay, so once that is all rendered and onto the screen, then this little function right here takes the user's input of which spelling pattern they want to do and grabs the list, which current list do they want to practice E, then it's going to return this small inner array. If they want to practice A, it's going to return this small inner array. And so that's what this object is doing right here. That's its functionality. And here is its state up here. So after that, let's look at the modules, JavaScript. And so here's some modules. And it starts with some DOM interactions here. And so right here on line 11, we're creating an element, a paragraph element that is added to the hero box. So it goes in and grabs hero box and says, hey, let's add a child element there. And we call it new paragraph. And I've put in some spelling and some game instructions right there for them to use. After that, then we go down and down here, we talk about the button. What is the button going to do? So we're adding some functionality to the button, and it goes out and it calls and it starts game. So this button down here, the function that it is using is start game. So start game, when you push the button, gets a list and displays a word. So get a list actually uses that function from our object to get the list that we spoke of just a minute ago in the list object. And then display word. And so display word is down here. And our function down here on line 63 is telling it to initializing some variables here with the information that's returned from when we get our word. So display word actually calls get word information, and it goes to this function get word information, and it uses the list that was returned when we use get list. And so get list is returned and it is stored right here in the list. And so once we have that, then we use that list and we pull the word array out of that list. And depending on which word we're using, that's the word that's going to be returned. So we have some conditional branching here with this switch code right in here. And so if you use the first word, then the array for word 1 is going to be used and put into word information. Word information is returned to display word, and then it pulls the first element, which is the word itself, and then it pulls the fourth element or the fourth item in the array, which is the actual image of the word. So that is used for the picture clue. And then it's displayed. It goes to queries the HTML code and plops those in the right elements in our screen. And so that's pretty much it. Oh, and then of course we have our next word. So we have an event listener that once it is clicked, calls next word, which is this function down here. And so this function just iterates and calls our where is it? Calls our current word right here, and then displays the next word, calls display word down here, which is then used in displays the next word, which it gets the next word, and then displays it. So it continues like that until it's gone through all the words, and then it just simply stops. So that is my program. It uses multiple function and some DOM interactions and an object and arrays of arrays of arrays. So anyway, thank you for being interested in my program, and I hope you enjoy it.